let's talk about the games today. There was some bangers today. Ooh, Liverpool Spurs, what a surprise. I'll let you start with that one. Oh, yeah, okay, Lingerr. Yeah, you're in the mood, so go on, go on.
I mean, it's funny actually because I think midway through the game when it was 4-0, I was like drinking mimosas at the bar with my friends, texting Ira like, I'm gonna be so drunk on the podcast. It's gonna be great. In the last 20 minutes, we were all sitting there like this, looking stressed. So like we battered them so well in the first half. Our best, most recognizable first half in weeks, if not months. It was really finally like, yes, this is Klopp's Liverpool. High pressing, energy. Spurs is Hoy Loin being ridiculous and conceding goals as usual. And then, I mean, like, minutes 70 through the end of the game, like they got those two goals, and I was sitting there like, oh my God, if we draw 4-4 or lose, this is gonna be the worst day ever. So I mean, the game, it was great. We played really well. I think actually the subs kind of, they let us down a little bit, but we still won 4-2. Mo was back in the goals. Gakpo has a beard now, so he's playing a lot better. Elliot
Yeah, of
too is
course.
now I'm a man. He's 22, running the games, man of the match performance. Spurs are a mess. It's kind of funny, but also kind of pathetic. Happy, I'm happy. I think, we're out of the league. We're out of all these different things. We won one measly cup. So the only thing I'm asking for now is three more games with this manager. Let's make them all rock and roll football and have him leave at least being like, this is the Liverpool that he's created.
Yeah, well, yeah, the pressure is off their shoulders. Now they're playing with more
Mm-hmm.
freedom, and it seems
Mm-hmm.
it's showing. Dada, what do you
Definitely.
think?
It was a good game. I think so. A couple of things with Liverpool was, and that's the and kind of just going back to earlier in the season when Klopp announced that he was going to leave. I feel like when you have this sort of like emotional, they did get an uplift from that announcement, right? I feel like that
Yeah.
up, they had the announcement. It gave them a really good uplift. I think that's where it even helped them in the League Cup final. But the
Mm-hmm.
thing about sort of like rallying emotional rallies is not sustainable, right? Like there's only so many speeches you can give before every game, right? So I reckon like during the League Cup, it's like, hey guys, I'm leaving. Don't do this for
Yeah.
me. Do this for the fans. And everyone's like, oh, Klopp, I'm gonna go take a bullet for you. You do that
Especially
one
young kids.
exactly right. So you do that one game, two game, by third game, it's like, all right, bro. Like I get it. You're about to leave. Like you can only play on that for so much. And trying to be objective here, I think Liverpool has actually been punching above their weight. So if you look at like the three
100%.
teams, like Arsenal, I think City has the best team in the league on paper,
By
followed
far.
by Arsenal, and
Mhm.
then maybe United and Liverpool, or maybe Liverpool over United. But Liverpool should not even be contending for the title. Let's be honest here, right? With all the
I agree.
injuries and everything. So I believe in regression to the mean. So I figure like eventually the mojo, we're doing this for Gaffer, all that is gonna wear away. And then you're gonna see the true team's performance. And that's what you were seeing. And even the spot with Salah too is also a reflection of frustration from the manager and the player itself. But all that aside, you needed to see a reaction from Liverpool, right? They've gone through this. Well, they drew against West Ham from
Mm.
2-0. They lost to
To
the
Everton.
Everton.
they lost to who?
They lost
Everton.
They
Everton. They
lost,
lost to
they lost
Derby.
to everything, and they also lost to Atalanta. I think that Atalanta loss at home was what really like triggered this bad form. So I figure like with a manager like Klopp, the quality on the side, they were going to prove something. Now I didn't think they were going to blow Spurs out of the water because given the fact that like Spurs were also coming out of the back of a 2-0 loss from Chelsea, so I feel like they also needed to prove something. So I was expecting maybe a tight game, like a 2-1, but then Spurs didn't really have any answer for their Liverpool attack. Like it was just like bang. It was kind of like the classic Liverpool team heavy metal that
Yeah.
we expected, right?
Yeah.
They stretched them on the wings. What I really love about the tactic was at the wing it was always 3-2 or 3-1, and they just stretched Spurs, and Spurs had no answer. I feel like that was one of those games that the manager could have played with Richarlison from game one, from the first minute, Because every time I had a chance in the box, there was no one there to finish, and Son was really trying to carry the team, and it was just nullified because between him
Right.
trying to keep up with the wing backs, there was just nothing he can do. So good game overall from Spurs. And then when Richarlison gone one back, I mean, no, who scored first? Was it Son? Yeah, Son scored
Richarlison.
first. Yeah,
Oh,
Richarlison scored
yeah.
first.
Richarlison
Charles
scored.
scored first. Yeah, Charles
Yeah,
scored
and then
first.
Son scored second. At that
Second.
4-2, it was starting to look shaky, right? It was really looking
Definitely.
shaky.
It was beginning to look like that Arsenal game.
Yeah, the Arsenal Newcastle game,
The
right?
Arsenal sports game. The last one went
Oh
4-2.
yeah,
About
yeah,
to come
yeah,
back
yeah.
at
Oh,
the
yeah,
end.
that's true. That's true.
Mm.
Yeah. So it's not look like one of those games, but thankfully, I mean, not thankfully, Liverpool can go kick rocks. Uh,
Your
the,
heart
the,
spoke through, Dada. You want me to be
the,
happy. You can be honest about it.
the game management was good. I was really wanting a 4-4. I was wanting a 4-4 game. I just wanted to see like Spurs. I
Goals and
mean,
enjoy yourself. That kind of stuff.
Liverpool under pressure, but Spurs couldn't really capitalize. I think with this Spurs team, kind of I don't know. Maybe they're pushing above their weight, but I think they're tired. They're just like I don't know how to explain it. They just seem lethargic. They just seem
So,
tired.
Dada, let's jump into the Chelsea West Ham game. This one we won't spend too much time because you just tell us, "Oh, surprise! That's Palmer is scoring so many goals." Blah blah blah. But let me let you say it. Let me not put words in your mouth.
No, I mean I don't let anybody put anything in my mouth, so I'm gonna just clear the air. But no, overall, you made a good point before the game started. We said Chelsea is finding form at the wrong time. But the thing is, one thing, I mean, I think a friend of mine said this and it made a lot of sense is rebuilding is really tough. And a lot of fans don't want to go through the rebuilding process, right? It's kind of like,
Yeah.
I mean, just to use a analogy that would make me sound like an old man, but it's like you're trying to buy a house, right? The easy thing is for you to go to the market, buy a house that is ready made, and write a check and you go. But if you have to do a fixer upper, it's very painful, right? Because you're trying to match the bathroom tiles to the mirrors and all that. So I think that what's going on with Chelsea right now is we're going through this rebuilding phase, and for better or for worse, it is what it is, right? But the thing about rebuilding is it's very, very painful, right? Just like you're trying to do a house, you put a nail through a wall, next thing you know, you cut through an electrical, now you have to fix all that. So I think there are there are three camps of Chelsea fans right now. There are those who are truly, truly all about rebuilding phase. They understand it, they're fine with it, they've come to terms. They see the inconsistency with the team and they're like, man, you know what, this is what happens with rebuilding. And I think those folks are in the minority, especially for we international fans, right? And there's the camp of maybe folks like myself that, it's like, I understand the rebuilding. Some days I'm like, man, it sucks. We shouldn't be doing this. We should be better. And there's days like, and it's all result driven, right? So when we lost to Arsenal, I was like, oh, Poch has to go. This rebuilding thing is the worst thing. We should not be rebuilding.
Mm-hmm.
And then now that we're winning 5-0, I'm like, oh, rebuilding makes sense. So I go back and forth. And then you have some fans who, I don't know what percent of the fan group they are, who are just dead set on, if Chelsea wins 10-0, they're unhappy. They're like, oh, all the players sucks. They're never going to come good. Clearly capital, they don't know what they're doing. They're the worst owners. I wish Roman was the one running the club, right? So you have these fans who are just like, I don't want to use the word stuck in the past, but they can't see past the fact that you were going to struggle. Like, you just not, like, rarely do you get success overnight. And it sounds very corny, but that's just how life works. If you're rebuilding a company, anything you're rebuilding, you're going to go through this transitional period, and it's very hard to swallow. So long-winded way of saying is, if you compare Chelsea from last season to this season, we've made a lot of improvements, right? It's like we have two players who are on the top 15 highest goal scorers. We have a player who scored 20 goals. The last time that happened was maybe Diego Costa. It's been it's a long time that we've had two Chelsea players be double digits, right? So that's that. And I also feel like a lot of Chelsea players are actually getting better. A good one is Noni Madueke, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
And tactically, I don't know if you guys watched the game, but Poch did something interesting that he did last game against Spurs, and he also did it again where he was playing Cucurella, who was also improved. We almost saw Cucurella to United.
That's right.
We almost told Cucurella to United, y'all, and look at him now. Cucurella now plays as an inverted midfielder. So when Chelsea off the ball, He plays as a left back. When we're on the ball, he plays as a inverted midfielder where he's
As a, like a
supporting
defensive
Caicedo,
midfielder. Yeah.
right? And Caicedo is able to go forward. Gallagher is able to go forward, and the combination is just beautiful, beautiful to watch.
Personally, I think Chelsea are kind of a crossroads. Um, the first crossroad is what do you do with a manager? I think keep the manager, but
Mm.
Dada said something about buying a fixer-upper house. Trying to match the tiles to the bathroom tiles. The door color to the wall color, all those kind of things, and furniture to the carpet, blah blah blah. But it depends on if I get a proper handyman or proper builder to do it, or if I decide to, do DIY it. You know, Bolly should take his hands off. His job
But
is to sign checks.
he
He,
has.
yes, he has to, because if it's a case of Bolly coming in and just I'm the one that's gonna go do run transfers, we're gonna choose the players we buy, we're gonna negotiate the fee, we're gonna negotiate their wages, give them 10-year contracts. No, get someone to help Poch, a real director of football, a real technical
Definitely.
director to help Poch. Poch is good with kids. You already have a lot of good kids, like you mentioned, Noni Madueke. You've got that right back. I forgot his name. His name was in my
Gusto.
head. Gusto Malo Gusto. You've got Gala. Casido is quite young. Fernandez is quite young.
Palmer's young.
Palmer is, I was going to
Oh,
mention him
man, yeah.
l's because he's a pill. He's like,
He's ready, but like
yeah,
he's
he's a
young too.
peer. It's just like you've got to you build a team around him, and you already have
Yeah.
what you call the spine. The only thing you don't have
Yeah.
is the two center backs. The only thing you need now is to go get two young center backs, or at least one young center
I
back.
think you just need one experienced center back. That's it.
Yeah, one young one and one experienced one. Because actually, you have Colwill.
No,
You
no,
already
no.
have
Chelsea
Colwill.
has, yeah. We
You
also
have
have
Colwill.
Fofana. You forgot. We also have Fofana
Oh,
from Leicester
that's right.
City.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, he's been injured. We forget about him. That's right. So you literally have your spine then, because you have Palma, you have Caicedo, you have Gallagher, you have Fernandez, you have Noni Madueke, you have Fofana, you have Colwill. So
There's Bruce
everything.
James. There's Chilwell. So I mean, the team is not.
Please stop counting with James.